I'm just acting Chicallywood.
So have you done roles that are basically predominantly like a Puerto Rican woman? Or is it like, so how have you been coming across certain roles?
Yeah, I'm usually I get the Caucasian woman.
The Caucasian
25 to 40, 45. That's like the age range I seem to get. Caucasian woman, and I get mom a lot.
Yeah.
I've gotten like Italian mobster wife a lot too.
I can kind of see that.
You kind of see it. Why can you tell me why you can see that?
Because you kind of
tell
have
me why
this,
you can see that.
you have this very bold, like, so who was it? Where is he? Let's go get him. Okay.
Okay, that's Sagittarius in me. It comes out in my roles. I'd be a little feisty.
Shout out to Sagittarius.
Sagittarius. I love.
There we go.
But yeah, I've got an Italian woman a lot, but that's about it. I'm a little like a lot of the moms, wives, and like detective.
Yeah.
I'm also a nurse, so I've naturally been, granted nurse roles.
Okay.
Like, hey, you're a nurse.
Yeah.
Come do this.
Is it interesting if you see a role that's for a nurse and it's wrote in a way where you're like, well, wait a minute, no, that's not how that would go. No, that's not the type of needles that you would use.
That is violating HIPAA. Like, what's happening here?
So now that leads and segues into this next question. Sometimes when you get a role, you might be like, can I talk to the director or the writer and say, hey, can I give a little insight? Because this is not accurate. Or you just say, you know what?
Yeah.
Let me trust your vision is what it is. How do you do with that?
Well, if we're talking about nursing stuff in general, so far everything I've received as far as nursing has been very general.
Okay.
And that's made sense. So I haven't really like, hey, can I give some nursing tips? But if it comes to other roles, I usually don't.
Okay.
Unless I feel like there's an open door then they're asking me like, what do you think? What would you like to change? What is your input? And then I think this.
Okay.
So unless I'm being asked that question, I usually don't approach them with that. Yeah.
So you trust the process.
Yeah.
When it's all said and done.
Yeah.
And speaking of trusting the process, so what type of roles ideally would you love to have?
Yeah.
Because I can get a gauge because you kind of have I can see you doing a lot of funny skits.
I do funny skits.
Okay.
Yeah, I did a couple skits with Boom Too Funny back in the day.
Okay.
Done some skits with Felice Tamara J. So we're working on that. Jay Davis,
Shout out to Jay Davis
Creative Hustle, all those skits, the crazy skit, man.
Yeah.
And I get some hate on some of those skits.
Really?
Yes, some of them on TikTok, because people think it's real. People genuinely think these like funny skits are real. And
what do you mean? Like what? It's like maybe like the subject matter of the skits?
The subject matter, but like the moment, like they think like they really think the stuff is real.
Oh, wow.
I was getting dogged out for a couple things where it was the work husband meets the real husband.
Yeah.
And so I'm all lovey-dovey and on top of my work husband, and it's like a Christmas party.
Gotcha.
And so my husband's there and I'm with my work husband like, oh, Donnie. And I'm all over and the work husband's like, what is happening? But people were like, oh, you need to get rid of her. Get rid of him like this. But it's fake.
So that leads into, so how does your family help you with your career? Like how does that balance work?
Support.
Yeah, that's very
Yeah,
important.
whether you have it in family or if you create your own family, friends, you need support. And that's with anything, anything in our life. We need someone to know we can fall back on, we can talk with, we can speak with, we can ask for advice.
Yeah.
And it comes to like daily life, like, hey, I need someone to help me. I'm not going to make it on time to pick up my daughter from school. I'm on set. Can you help me? Making sure you have a plan B, plan C, and plan D is important. And knowing that you have that security and that support from your friends and family is really what you can fall back on.
That's dope. Because it's really important to be in this business to have a support system because it gets hard. It gets really hard, as you know. So segueing into the next question, how do you deal with the slow times? How do you deal with the times where it's like, man, it's like I've been doing, because I'm an advocate for like always creating your own, but sometimes some people just don't have that in them, and I get it. But like, how would you help somebody or give advice to somebody who's like, yo, I'm not getting nothing?
Sometimes you just can't wait. You can't wait for the roles to come to you. You got to create the roles.
Yeah.
So like, I mentioned, I've written a few scripts in my downtime when things are pretty slow. I'm like, I'm going to create a character that I want to play. I'm going to create a scene that I would love to play in. I'm going to write this out and see what happens.
Yeah.
It has not come to the film yet. It's still on paper, it's still at home, but it will. That is my goal, to get that out into the world. So downtime is writing. Downtime is attending more workshops or training. Like just like as a nurse, I still have to do things called in-service.
Okay.
So once a year, I still have to make sure I know still how to put in a Foley catheter. Do I know how to draw blood? Like, do I know how to put in an IV? You have to make sure your skills are sharpened. Same thing with acting. I know some people are with training and some people are not. I think it's important. I think it's important for me specifically because I'm coming from just 7 years of this, coming from zero to where I'm at now.
Yeah.
So training for me is important. It keeps me sharp. It keeps me on my toes, and it keeps me networking as well. Because your classmates could be the next Steven Spielberg. Your classmate could be the next. You never know. But it keeps you networking. It keeps you involved. That's what I do in my downtime. And I'm mixed fit. I don't know if I told you I'm mixed fit.
No, I didn't know that. Okay.
Mixed Fit's a dance. It's a dance fitness program. So that's something I'm newly doing as well. I just started that 6 months ago. I became an instructor.
Oh, so you
gonna come to class? You gonna do dance fitness with me, youngblaze?
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow? Actually, we do have a class tomorrow.
Well, not tomorrow.
I'm gonna assign you the other tomorrow.
The other tomorrow.
Got you.
Yeah.
I got you.
Yeah. Okay. So basically, it's all about keeping your skill set sharp. So even when things are not working out or things are not going your way, still work on something to be, because you never know when you need to use it. Be prepared for it.
Never know.
Man.
What does it say? You gotta stay ready. Don't gotta get ready.
Hey.
That's it.
That's what's up, man.
You gotta stay ready.
So then my next question, and you mentioned a little bit, you got some theater in your background, right?
I do.
So the one thing that has been so consistent across the board with almost everybody that I've interviewed, theater is so important.
Yeah.
So why is it important to you?
It's important to me because I think it's acting in its rawest form.
It's super raw.
It's super raw. That's like an album cover name, right? I got you. I'm out here.
Yeah.
Commission. Don't forgive me when you make that album.
Let's do it.
But it is acting in its rawest, truest form, and there are no do-overs. No one's gonna yell "cut," do it again. Like you are up there really doing it, and I love that adrenaline rush.
Yeah.
Like I really love the adrenaline rush.
It's addicting.
Oh, it's so good.
Nice.
But it's one of those things where like the team all comes together to do this one, usually, at least the ones I've been in have been one night production. And everyone's coming together, crew, cast, the set designer, everyone is working together, long hours to get this production up and running and as best as it can be. And it's just, I don't know, it's just so fulfilling to see everyone pulling together to make this one movement of art happen and uniformly. Even when things go up and down.
Yeah.
Making sure we're rolling with the punches. Like,
because it's all teamwork when it's all said and
all
done.
teamwork.
Yeah.
And it's teamwork in film too. The thing is, like, you have do-overs. You have times you can cut. You can redo again. You can do a makeup touch-up. She's sweating over there. You on stage, you sweating. That's okay. It's coming down. No one's going to stop and come over there and pat you dry. If you were in the middle of that monologue and you feel that sweat, it's there.
You got to fight through it.
You just got to fight through it. Anyway, it adds to the character most of the time because, like I say, half the time I'm crying and screaming and having some sweat just adds to my character.
So this is another question. So are you one of the actresses that can cry on cue, or you have to build up to it? What goes into the mental mindset to be able to do that? I know you got to pull from me the emotional things, but you know, is because I remember I was working with somebody one time where I had to have them cry. They were able to do it, and I had to do multiple takes. But what was starting to happen is they were starting to get like a headache. You know, so
that happens for sure. So if I know I'm coming to set and it's the part where I have to cry, I make sure, this is the nurse in me, I'm super hydrated. So before I head to set, I'm chugging water, I'm drinking water, because you can't produce tears unless you're hydrated, right?
There we go.
So make sure you're hydrated, for real. Like, that's like the biggest thing, because it's hard to, especially when you do it 2, 3, 4 times over and over, you're going to get to a point where you're crying, you could feel the emotion, you could feel the pressure in your head, but ain't nothing coming out anymore. You dry. So, hydrating. But another thing is music.
Oh, that's good.
I bring music to set. I bring something that I can listen to with my own headphones to really put me in a state. I try not to put my mind in a state of like pain or hurt that I've been in the past, just because I don't think it's healthy to kind of relive events like that.
Yeah.
So for me personally, I listen to music that elicits, that certain emotions will come from.
Like Adele or something. Adele, Hello. That was a sad song.
No.
That was a pretty interesting song.
Well, I won't cry to that one.
Okay.
No, but it's funny we're talking about this because I actually did a posting today about this very subject.
Really? Oh,
and
wow.
the song, which is so crazy, the song is Dionne Warwick, That's What Friends Are For.
Okay.
And I know that sounds
Classic.
crazy, but it's classic. But whenever those horns start, that start, boy, it starts coming down. Yeah. And I was like, you just have to know. Like when I have a character that I'm playing that's like a badass, I have like this rock and roll, like like this is the role, this is the music. And I associate music with who my character is. What would this character listen to? And I think that's
nice. I like that. I like that.
And this one time I had to play like this woman back in the 80s, and I was the movie was set in the 80s, and she was, you know, being abused and things like that. And I was like, I need those 80s ballads to put me in this mood. Like, I would listen to 80s ballads on the way to set. I'm listening to it. It's playing in the background while I'm reading the script. I just get my character in that zone. So when it comes to crying on set, you know, I'm hydrated. I ask, you know, give me a minute. Let me get myself into that moment. And I listen to a song or two to really just get those emotions going. Yeah. And I take off the headphones. All right, I'm ready. Let's go. Hurry, let's go. It's happening and it's already coming down. I'm like, hurry, let's go.
Yeah. Can you cheat it a little bit? Because I've seen people take like it's some type of peppermint type of thing, and then
you can. I haven't used that specifically. I've tried eye drops a couple times just because there was just so much going on.
Yeah.
But I think that it was more dry. I think that did worse.
I would imagine, because it's so.
It was drying it up at a certain point, and I was like, I probably shouldn't be using Visine. Like it probably should have been like the lubricant. But yeah, that's something that I've seen people do. Yeah. But for me, again, like I can do it pretty easily, but music just pushes me forward a little more.
Yeah. What has helped your brand? Would you say social media has really helped? Because I've seen you do a lot of skits, things like that. So how would you advocate for actors to start really getting on their social media game, to really like, this time?
Yeah, it's hard. Social media is such a fine line, but I have to look at it as
I'm just acting Chicallywood.